And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Hello again, and thanks for joining us for Tuesday's Alaska weather. Up first on the hazardous weather graphic, we've got high wind warnings out for Prince of Wales Island, as well as the other areas of the southern southeast coast. That's out for tonight for winds with a strong front coming in. Heading in toward the south coast, look for winds possibly gusting up to 60 miles an hour during the overnight period tonight, along with rain heavy at times. Satellite imagery showing that system here, the low center kind of moving eastward there with the front pushing up toward the southeast coast, bringing wind and rain across the area from south to north here. Coming back in along the North Gulf Coast, got rain into western Prince William Sound now, and some lighter amounts over the Kenai Peninsula area. Not too bad over the interior, some disorganized clouds up here to the north and back to the west, mostly dry conditions with chilly temperatures and breezy northerly winds. And farther out to the west, you can see the next system here pushing eastward. One low hanging back just south of Shimia, a new one developing here near Adak, and that's going to dive southeastward and come around the bottom of this system as it pulls northwestward. We'll see a repeat. This one will come back up into the Gulf of Alaska over the next several days. On the forecast for tonight, here's that strong low center, 960 millibars pushing that front, and the increasing winds, again, gusting up to 65 miles an hour with gale and storm force winds associated with it there into the southern panhandle. But it'll be quite wet and windy all the way up into the North Gulf Coast areas and back to the west. Lighter amounts of rain and not as much wind back here into Prince William Sound, the Kenai Peninsula, Kodiak Island, periods of rain there tonight, light rain. Dry up over the interior, just some isolated snow showers here right along or just south of the Yukon River in the flats there. And some scattered isolated flurries there over the north slope and locally the Brooks Range, but nothing significant. And farther out to the west here, we've got increasing northeast winds with this system pulling eastward here with showers over the eastern Aleutians up to the Pribilof Islands, but dry along the southwest coast here with some clearing and maybe northeast winds anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour or so, maybe a few higher gusts, and then a trough out here bringing more rain into the western Aleutians. And the forecast for tomorrow, this low pulls back to the west here. Here's the next one developing down to the southwest. Putting that today, you can see it actually pulls northwest here, just south of Montague Island there. And the front moves into Canada here and weakens, but enough of it holds together. Probably a band of snow will push up across the Copper River Basin into the eastern interior tomorrow in this location, all the way up to Porcupine River there. Areas of light snow and flurries to the north slope and scattered along the Arctic coast. Mostly dry out here over the western interior, maybe a few snow flurries here around the Lotto Hills there, just east of Norton Sound, as well as out over the Bering Sea. Pretty windy conditions now for the Alaska Peninsula with a widespread area of showers and rain, mostly or heaviest there on the Bering Sea side of the peninsula. Showers to the eastern Aleutians. And then the forecast for Wednesday, that low center pulls up and then back to the west again, kind of a repeat performance here with the front moving into Canada and weakening, and maybe some mixed rain and snow into the southeast interior. Rain for the North Gulf Coast there into the southern Kenai Peninsula, and a weaker trough bringing some gusty winds and areas of rain and showers there for the southeast coast, but not all that heavy. And back to the west there, a couple of weak lows out here over the Bering Sea. And then for the last day of the work week here, Friday, that low pulls southwestward and continues to weaken. Should be far enough east of Kodiak Island for dry conditions there. Areas of light snow here through the central interior, extending down into possibly western Cook Inlet to the Alaska Range. And a trough here keeps showers and rain going, but a lot less wind here for the southeast coast and North Gulf Coast areas. Flurries for the Arctic coast. And out to the west, nothing too significant, kind of a mediocre low out here up over the northwest Bering Sea and a cold front extending southwestward from that, bringing some light rain into the west central Aleutians, mostly west of Adak. Another trough here bringing some showers in toward the eastern Aleutians. Not too bad here over the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta, including Nunivak Island with lighter winds and clearing skies, and fair conditions up across Norton Sound into the Kobuk Valley there. And for the lows tonight, anywhere from 5 to 10 here in the west central Brooks Range area. To the north in the teens, to the south, teens and 20s. Lower 30s here for south central Alaska, mid 20s in the Copper River Basin, and 20 to 25 over the southwest interior, closer to 30 out toward the coast, upper 30s for most of the Aleutians and the Panhandle in the 40s. And then the highs tomorrow, lower to mid 50s there for the southern southeast coast, upper 40s to the north. And in the 40s here, south central Alaska, mid 30s in the Copper River Basin, west of the Alaska Range, staying below freezing until you get out toward the coast and into the lower to mid 30s there. Teens and 20s for the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast. And then for the lows on Thursday morning, again in the teens through the Brooks Range and even down into the Bettles area, possibly 21 around Kobuk. And for the lower 20s there for the Seward Peninsula. And teens for the Arctic coast with some lower to mid 20s as well. And mostly in the lower to mid 30s, south central Alaska, dropped 10 degrees off that for the Copper River Basin, and in the 40s for the southeast coast. That'll be followed by highs in the lower to mid 50s over the southern southeast coast, upper 40s to the north, near 50 for the North Gulf Coast. Staying in the 40s here for the highs for south central Alaska to Kodiak Island, 30s to the west, 30s to the north, and the chilliest area there across the Brooks Range. And for the extended temperature outlook there for October 27th, right to the end of the month, chillier than normal here. Forecast for the western part of the state, including the Alaska Peninsula, eastern Aleutians, and Pribilofs, right around average from the central Arctic coast down into the south central Alaska area and Kodiak. A little cooler than average forecast for the Panhandle. Precipitation-wise, looking at drier than normal conditions for the Seward Peninsula into the lower Yukon River Valley areas. Otherwise, a little above here forecast for the North Gulf Coast from the Alaska Peninsula right in across the southeast coast.